You know me. I'm Sheldon the Sniper, the guy who can hit a bullseye from a mile away, blindfolded, riding a unicycle. Okay, maybe not the unicycle part, but the rest is pretty accurate. I take my job seriously. Precision, patience, pinpoint accuracy, that's my motto. But lately things have been a little tense around here. The guys, they need a laugh. So I figured, why not me? I can hit a target, why not a funny bone? I've been working on my material, polishing my delivery, and tonight's the night I unleash Sheldon the Sniper. Comedian extraordinaire. Or at least that's the plan. We'll see if I bomb harder than a misplaced artillery shell. Wish me luck, because these guys are a tough crowd. Get ready for a wild ride as I trade in my rifle for a microphone and attempt to conquer the world of stand-up comedy, one joke at a time. Will I bring the house down with laughter, or will it be crickets and tumbleweeds? There's only one way to find out. All right, gentlemen, gather around, I said, adjusting my best tactical vest like it was a tuxedo. Sheldon. The sniper is about to drop some knowledge. Comedic knowledge, that is. I cleared my throat, feeling a bead of sweat trickle down my temple. Why was I more nervous about telling jokes than disarming explosives? This wasn't natural. This was venturing into uncharted territory, a place where my usual arsenal of witticisms about wind velocity and bullet trajectory wouldn't fly. I launched into my first joke, a real knee slapper about the time I mistook a squirrel for a highly trained enemy combatant. Silence. Deafening, awkward silence. The guys just stared at me, their faces blank slates of utter bewilderment. Crickets chirped in the distance. A tumbleweed rolled by. Okay, maybe not, but it sure felt like it. This was going to be harder than I thought. Undeterred, I decided to switch tactics. If subtle humor wasn't their style, maybe a more direct approach would work. I pulled out a tiny notepad and a pen, the kind I usually use for calculating bullet drop, and started scribbling down some ideas. The guys watched me with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "What you got there, Sheldon?" asked Big Tony, his voice booming across the room. "Just strategizing my next comedic assault," I replied, flashing a confident grin. "You know, comedy is like warfare," I explained, tapping the notepad with my pen. "You need a plan, a target, and the element of surprise." The guys exchanged puzzled glances. I could tell they weren't quite buying it, but I pressed on, determined to prove that even a sniper could master the art of humor. After all, laughter was the best medicine, right? And right now, this unit needed a heavy dose of laughter. "Why don't they play poker in the jungle?" I asked, my voice steady, my gaze sweeping across the room. The guys looked at each other, eyebrows raised. "Too many cheetahs." I delivered the punchline with the precision of a headshot, and the room erupted in laughter. I couldn't believe it. My corny joke had actually landed. Big Tony was doubled over, clutching his stomach. Even stoic Sergeant Miller cracked a smile. For a moment, I felt a surge of triumph, a sense of accomplishment that rivaled hitting a target from 1,000 yards. Maybe I did have a knack for this comedy thing after all. Maybe Sheldon the Sniper could add another skill to his repertoire. Sheldon the stand-up sensation. Okay, maybe not sensation, but at least someone who could get a chuckle out of his comrades. This was a good start. Riding high on my newfound comedic success, I decided to stick with what I knew best, sniping. You know, I began leaning back against the wall. Being a sniper is a lot like being invisible. I paused for dramatic effect, letting the suspense build. Except when you're not, I deadpanned. A few scattered chuckles rippled through the room, but it wasn't the uproarious laughter I had hoped for. "Tough crowd," I muttered under my breath, trying not to let the lukewarm reception dampen my spirits. Comedy, it seemed, was a fickle beast, even more unpredictable than the wind currents I had to account for when lining up a shot. But I wasn't giving up. I had 9 more jokes in my arsenal, and I was determined to make them count. "Ever heard the one about the sniper who missed his target but still hit the enemy?" I asked, a mischievous glint in my eye. The guys shook their heads, their curiosity piqued. "Turns out," I continued, "he accidentally shot the grenade launcher strapped to the guy's back." I couldn't help but chuckle at my own joke, picturing the chaotic scene in my head. To my surprise, the guys joined in, their laughter echoing through the room. Maybe it was the absurdity of the situation, or maybe they were just relieved that I hadn't subjected them to another one of my dry observations about camouflage patterns. Whatever the reason, I was grateful for the positive response. It gave me the boost I needed to keep going. Emboldened by the success of my previous joke, I decided to push the envelope a little further. "Why did the sniper break up with his girlfriend?" I asked, my voice taking on a conspiratorial tone. The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation. Because he couldn't handle the long-distance relationship, I blurted out, expecting at least a few groans. Instead, I was met with blank stares and an awkward silence so profound you could have heard a pin drop. I shifted uncomfortably from one foot to the other, the weight of their judgment pressing down on me. Note to self: dark humor and military life don't mix. I quickly moved on to the next joke, hoping to salvage what was left of my comedic dignity. "I'm not saying my eyesight is perfect," I began, adjusting my imaginary glasses, "but I can see right through you." I paused, waiting for the groans that inevitably follow a well-placed pun. And groan they did. Big Tony let out a sound that resembled a wounded buffalo, while Sergeant Miller simply shook his head, muttering something about the decline of civilization. All right, I conceded, holding up my hands in mock surrender. Maybe puns aren't my forte. I had to admit, even I cringed a little at that one. But hey, at least I was trying, and who knows, maybe one day my puns would be so bad they'd circle back around to being funny. A sniper could dream, couldn't he? "You know you've been in the field too long when you start blending in with the furniture," I quipped, recalling the time I accidentally spent an entire afternoon camouflaged as a potted plant. I swear one of these days I'm going to come back from a mission and find a bird trying to build a nest in my hair. The image of myself covered in twigs and feathers was enough to elicit a genuine laugh from the guys. Even Sergeant Miller cracked a smile, shaking his head at my antics. It seemed that relatable humor, the kind that stemmed from shared experiences, was the key to winning over this tough crowd. Maybe I didn't need fancy wordplay or elaborate setups. Maybe all I needed was to be myself, to embrace the absurdity of our situation and find the humor in the everyday moments that made up our lives. "They say practice makes perfect," I said, adjusting my sniper rifle scope, which was coincidentally pointed at a picture of a clown. But I'm starting to think I'm aiming for the wrong career. The guys roared with laughter, slapping their knees and wiping tears from their eyes. Even I had to chuckle at my own expense. It seemed that self-deprecating humor was the way to go. By poking fun at my own shortcomings, I was disarming the audience, making myself more relatable and, dare I say, even a little bit endearing. Who knew that the key to comedic success lay in embracing my own fallibility? It was a humbling yet strangely liberating realization. "What's the difference between a sniper and a bad comedian?" I asked, my voice filled with newfound confidence. The guys leaned forward, eager to hear the punchline. "A sniper waits for the right moment to strike," I said, pausing for effect. "While a bad comedian, well, you're stuck with them all night." The room erupted in laughter, the sound washing over me like a warm wave. I had done it. I, Sheldon the Sniper, had successfully navigated the treacherous waters of stand-up comedy and emerged victorious. Okay, maybe not victorious, but at least I hadn't bombed. And more importantly, I had achieved my goal. I had made my comrades laugh. So there you have it, folks. Sheldon the Sniper, taking on a whole new kind of target, your funny bone. From corny puns to self-deprecating jabs, I explored the vast landscape of humor. And while not every joke hit the mark, I'd say it was a resounding success. Laughter, after all, is the best medicine, and I think we could all use a little more of that in our lives. If you enjoyed this comedic roller coaster, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments which joke had you laughing the hardest. And hey, if you have any jokes of your own that you think could crack a smile on even the most serious of snipers, feel free to share those too. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and most importantly, stay laughing. This is Sheldon the Sniper signing off.